Which one of these will make me cry? He was getting annoyed by it. Love Me the Dragons. Yeah, I'm tired. We are wrapping up what we read for the month of June. So first I read Mad Mabel. I really enjoyed this one, and it actually surprised me how much I enjoyed it. I was a little hesitant going into it because it does follow a character who is a lot older, and I haven't read anything like that before. But the main character, I loved her. She was so real and so blunt, related to that so much, and I just enjoyed her. There are themes of different types of abuse, so please read trigger warnings. It was an emotional ride, this book. I was like giggling and smiling on one page and then like jaw dropped on the next page. And so I just really enjoyed this book. Next, I read The Crank Palace. If you are a Maze Runner fan and have read the books, that's important. You need to have read the books and not just watch the movies before you read this. Really enjoyed it. I love Newt. He's one of my favorite characters. So this was a very enjoyable read. Then How Freaking Romantic by Emily Harding was my next read. This one was a little bit hard to read. I didn't really enjoy it. The female main character is a lawyer, and she used the word asshole to describe or call the love interest. And there's so many times I was like so done hearing that word. And she's also a lawyer. So I was like, she's smart. She could figure out another word to call this guy instead of asshole. And it was just driving me crazy that that's all that she was calling him. And like, it kind of seemed like he was getting annoyed by it. Like, he's like, yeah, we established that. Each time she would call him that. And so it was just so annoying. The other thing is that I feel like the feelings and thought process of the main character was over-explained. Like, it would show what was happening in her head or in her heart or whatever, and then it would explain it again. So I was just like over-explaining so many things that I was already catching on before, and so it just took me out of the world and took me away from the characters a little bit. Now, there were cute moments, and if you're looking for just a fun, fluffy romance, this is your book. Now, this one, I want to read this so bad. I ended up not reading it this time around because I want to save it for when I'm like, can be mentally fully present for it. I opened it up to start reading it, and there's pronunciations for certain names in there. And I'm like, this may be too much for what I can handle right now, but I do want to read it so badly. I've heard so many good things about this, but with it being a series and a little bit more like, I need to be fully present for this mentally and emotionally, I just have to save it for when I'm at that point. But I will read it. So then I was looking at my bookshelf and I'm like, okay, what can I replace this with? The prompt that was with this book was a number in the title. And I was like, I don't think I have one. So I'll just choose another book that I have that's more summer vibes. But then I noticed I have How to Kill a Guy in 10 Days. I did not finish this. It is a rom-com meets a slasher movie, but in book form. And it was just not my vibe. If that's your vibe, then read it. I didn't even finish it. Like, I didn't even like have the desire to know how it ended. But again, if rom-coms and slashers are your thing, this might be your vibe. Obviously, I read this and I enjoyed it. Shockingly, so much more like tender than I thought from this author. Love Frida McFadden. She's a great author if you're trying to get out of a reading slump, because her writing is fast paced. It's a mystery, and so you're like constantly thinking, oh my gosh, is it this or that? You know, it's such a fun read. That's all the books I read for the month of June. Now let's pick for me. I am in a fantasy mood, so I really want to choose a book that's like more fantasy. But I also am like, I'm just wanting a book that makes me cry. Yeah, I want to cry because I love something so much, not because of exhaustion or actual sadness. First book is a sprayed edge book. Sprayed edges are popular, so I'm going to have a lot to choose from, I feel like. Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I do know this is a fantasy, so this is the Sprayed Edge. Hollow, I think they're referred to as the Twisted Sisters, and I've heard so much about them as authors. I've heard about this book a couple times, but I don't know a lot about it. I'm assuming it's a fantasy because this Sprayed Edge is a dragon. So, love that. Love me the dragons, obviously. Or we have Starside by Alex Astor. I've heard so many good things about this. Not in detail, just that like everyone is loving it. And here's the Sprayed Edge. Field Guide for Formerly Villainous. Now this one I recently got. Cute Sprayed Edge. And I know if I don't pick it, my sister is going to be really mad because she saw it and was like, I want to read that. And then asked me when I was going to get to it. This is so hard because, again, I'm feeling so like a pull towards fantasy. I haven't read a fantasy in a long time. I think I'm going to choose this. I am really excited about it. I don't know what it's about. It could be a little bit fantasy ridden. Oldest book on TBR. The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah, which I have read a few books of hers and I have enjoyed them. I'm not sure if I'm in that type of mood. Or our other pick, which these are like the two oldest, so like they've been on my shelf for a very, very long time. The Anathema, I think is how you say it, by Carrie Lake. I've heard a lot of good things. And when I say that, I'm like, I'm not hearing like details. I'm just hearing that people like it and are talking about it. All right, I'm going to choose The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. I actually don't even know how many I'm going to do. Newest book on TBR. Okay, so I've got the newer pile like right next to me. So, well, this also would count for newest too. Wait, I could do this for newest and do another book for Sprayed Edge. Okay, I think I'm leaning towards one of these two. Which one of these will make me cry? I want to cry because I love the characters and the plot so much. I don't know. I don't know. It's too hard. Why do I do this? No, I like doing this. Okay, let me read the backs one sec. I might have to go with Starside. Literally, I've read a sentence from the back. Demon, I say, voice shaking. Worse, he says. What? I'm going to go with Starside, Alex Astor, for Sprayed Edge. And this one is going to be for newest on TBR. I'm so glad that worked out. A book you've been recommended. Oh, wait, this is so... Okay, I'm actually so excited. I know exactly what book I'm going to choose. I've heard a lot about this book, but my good friend Aria just recently read it and was like, you need to read this. And it's Yesteryear by Kara Claire Berg. So this is going to be for a book that was recommended to me. Here's our lineup for the month. Did I say June? Now let's pick for May. Or did I say May? I didn't even say the month that's actually coming up. Yeah, I'm tired. For the books that we're reading in the month of July, because that month is after June, we have Yesteryear for a book that was recommended to me. For a book that's newest on my TBR, we have Field Guide for the Formerly Villainous by Autumn K. England. For Sprayed Edge, we have Starside, Alex Astor. Here's the Sprayed Edge one more time. The top is like, oh, like it. And then for oldest book on my TBR is Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. These are the picks for the month of July.